I'm Vicki Hogarth and welcome to Southwest Magazine. For over 50 years, Sunbury Shores Arts and Nature Center has played a central role in our local art scene and community. On today's episode, I talked to Executive Director Sara Brinkhurst about the gallery's annual fundraiser, Making Waves. Sara, welcome to Southwest Magazine. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about Making Waves and what it's been for Sunbury Shores historically as a fundraiser.
Well, it's the major fundraiser that they've been doing for a number of years now. We do other smaller things through the year, but this is the big one.
And how does it raise money for the gallery? What's the main draw to it?
The main draw, it's an art sale. We try and attract a lot of artists who we try and support, so they try and support us.
This year, how many artists are involved and how does it work? Is it like a profit split with the artists and how do people pay for or bid on the artwork?
Well, there's various different ways. Traditionally, as I understand it, the last few years it's a 50-50 split with the artist of the final selling price. This year we're doing it slightly differently. Instead of the silent auction, which people are used to, we're doing a Dutch auction, which means the price starts high and comes down each day. So it's a little different.
I was at the event last year and it was held on Ministers Island. What's different about this year?
Well, we were lucky enough to do it on Ministers Island for the last 2 years. Beautiful setting. This year is different because we've expanded it to a 4-day sort of festival. So the logistics are a little more difficult. And it's 55 years of being Sunbury Shores, so it made a lot of sense to celebrate in our own space. We have a lovely space, so that's where we're going with it at the moment.
Now the opening night's the 27th of August. What's going to happen for and how do people get involved? Can you just show up or are ticket sales?
You can show up on the door. It is ticket sales. During the day, the galleries will be open to the public, so anybody can come in and have a look and buy art. The evening events are ticketed, and we have an opening event, a splendid opening event on the Tuesday, 5 till 8 o'clock. And that will be a bit like our traditional openings, but with a little extra. So we'll have some live music, we got raffles, we have a door prize. The food will be maybe a little more exciting. You get a complimentary drink and the first chance to see the art and make a purchase if you see something that you absolutely can't live without, which is what we're hoping.
Now, I understand from being on your website, there's already a work in the making that's up for auction. Can you tell me a little bit about the Claudia Monroe piece?
Yes, Claudia. She's very, very generously offered to do a portrait of the winning bidder. It has to be done before August 31st because then they're off again. It will be basically a 4-hour sitting and she will paint portrait direct from life. So her portraits are stunning. It's a wonderful opportunity. We're accepting sealed bids at the moment, and the final bid, I think it's 6:30 on the 27th, and then the winner will be announced at about 7 o'clock. And then within the next couple of days, the portrait will happen, possibly in Sunbury Shores if somebody isn't too shy, which would be super exciting to have that happen actually during the festival. That would be wonderful. And so many thanks to Claudia for offering this. It's a fantastic opportunity. So you, loved one, grandchild, go for it.
Now, I understand the second day of the festival, there's a posh portrait party. That's different from that.
Yes, the posh portrait painting party is basically Sunbury Shores' version of a paint and sip. So we just wanted to make it like a little more original, perhaps. So Teresa McKnight is going to be leading it, and you don't need to have any artistic talent whatsoever. We will be supplying all the materials. We will be supplying champagne and cheesecake to get you in the mood. And the idea is that we will all be together and you can do a selfie off your phone or paint your neighbor or the person across the road, if it's someone you know. And it's just really going to be about having fun, just playing, having a laugh. So it should be good fun.
And that takes place in the gallery.
That'll be actually in the gallery on the second evening. Yeah. So tickets available for that at the moment still. So that'll be a good one. lots of
Since
fun.
the event's called Making Waves, I
Yeah.
understand you're bringing it to the beach on the third day of the festival.
The third day, yes, it's a live art installation. We're calling it the Stone Stack, just because that's the simplest sort of thing to do. We're hoping for individuals or teams, families can enter, doesn't matter. And we're just going to work with what's on the beach. The tide will be starting to come in, so whatever we've created by the end of the evening eventually will just be washed away. But that's live art, right? So if you don't want to actually be making, we have the Gables are providing a chowder meal for us, which is super kind of them. And so you can just come along, be an audience, have a drink, have your chowder, watch what everybody's doing down on the beach.
So it's right out front of the gallery,
It's
right
out
on the
front
beach.
on the beach,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, is it
So
like sandcastles or?
it can be whatever you want. We're sort of saying to people, if you want to bring your own materials, if you want to bring some driftwood and some extra rocks or some recycled, it's got to be something that either we take away or is a natural product, because we're not leaving garbage. But but if you need to bring a few extra pieces, then that's fine, and we'll see what happens.
Will there be a crowning of the winner, and will there be perhaps digital images of the?
We'll definitely have digital images, because once the tide comes in, it's gone, lost. So we'll be doing that, and so I think there'll be a popular vote. We're hoping to have an actual judge to come and make the final decision, and we'll have a few prizes, and it's definitely kid friendly, so we'll have some kids activities as well, so painting rocks or something like that. So it's going to be quite organic. We'll see what happens. Depends on, maybe everybody ends up building one big sculpture, I don't know. So
how are you closing out the festival on the final day?
Well, that's the big gala garden party, so that's the big kind of fanciest bit, I suppose.
In what ways is it a
Well,
fancy garden party?
we're actually teaming up with the Chandler Rooms next door, so they are providing food, wonderful food. We have a oyster and caviar bar out on the back deck, and we have a gin tent, and we have more raffles, and the end of the silent auction, which will have run for the week, and we will be featuring a live auction section. So some of the art that's been submitted is jury selected out for the live auction. We have a fabulous painting, Alexandra Eaton, whose show is up at the moment. She's donated a gorgeous painting, and we'll have some other lovely art for that, plus some kind of adventure experience opportunities to bid on. So
what does the funds you raise from this, what does it go on to support the rest of the year in Sunbury Shores?
Well, keep us open.
I do remember when I was a kid going there in the summertime, and that was some of my first art experiences were at Sunbury Shores. But I don't think at the time I even realized I was learning about whales at the same time.
Well, that's right. That's the idea. Well, that's the other thing we do is just the summer programming, which are the either 3-day or week-long classes that we have instructors coming from all over the place, local and New York and further afield, who come and teach what they know. And we've had some fantastic names over the years coming and teaching, and I know a lot of people here I know people who've moved here because of the classes they've done at Sunbury Shores in their youth. So
how does your artist in residence program work, and how has that become such an important part of the gallery?
It's a fairly new thing that we're still feeling our way through. We have some amazing studio facilities available. We've got a fantastic print studio. It's non-toxic. Robert Van de Peer set that up for us, and it's an amazing space, absolutely gorgeous. And we have a metalwork studio in the basement, which is, again, great. Ceramic studio, and then we have a general painting studio, drawing, multimedia. And a lot of the time they're not being used, so this was a way to help utilize what we have. So by inviting artists to come and spend time in residence in whatever their field is, it's a wonderful opportunity for them to experience St Andrews, for St Andrews to meet new artists, to have the studios used.
Now, do they apply from all over the world, or do you seek them out?
They can, a bit of both, I suppose. We've had people who've come and used the studios for a few days and then applied to come back. We've had people this year already from the UK, from Ontario, further afield, so they're welcome from anywhere. We have a wonderful partnership with Windsor House that have really made this happen. They provide accommodation and meals for the artists, and it's worked wonderfully. We're hugely appreciative of that. And this year we have a new partnership with the Canadian Beaverbrook Foundation, who've sponsored a couple of places, so we can actually pay artists to come for a couple of weeks. So
why do you think there are so many artists from here and from elsewhere who are so connected to the gallery? What is it about Sunbury Shores that goes beyond just a place to showcase their work?
It's very much a family, community-based organization. Reading some of the early history of how it was set up and the purposes and things, it was so integrated with the science and the beauty of the area. And it's all about sharing that and teaching people to appreciate what is around them. We do have these amazing facilities here at the Huntsman and Kingsbury Gardens and these beautiful places, as well as just being on the Bay of Fundy. So to be able to invite people to really appreciate, to really look at the environment, appreciate what is around them, and then express that through art is great. I think people appreciate it. Yeah.
Have you noticed with artists in residence that how the nature aspect of even being here and being surrounded by our natural environment has inspired them?
Totally, yes. I mean, we have these wonderful conversations. It's so much fun just to talk to people about their experiences. And I think almost everyone so far has come to St Andrews, to Sunbury Shores, with an idea in mind for what they're going to do, and it changes because they're so influenced by what's here, and it evolves into something deeper and more meaningful. And I hear this numerous times now, how it's influenced them. Yeah.
For a person who's maybe doesn't see themselves as an artist, might be someone in the area, how do you sell Sunbury Shores as an idea to them to come out to the gallery and become a part of it? Are there things you recommend people do, or just come out to see the work? For instance, if they were coming to the Making Waves Festival this year.
Oh, you should definitely come to Making Waves this year. It's going to be great. Yeah.
How do you involve someone that's, say, a novice in their own artistic talent to experimenting with expression and art that way?
Well, I think we try to be supportive. We're trying to be more involved with a sort of mentorship program, trying to support particularly emerging artists. It's a difficult thing when you're new and you're trying to feel your way. The business of art is complicated. So trying to work out your pricing, trying to work out your portfolio, trying to design your resume, your CV, how you apply to galleries and things like that. It's a quite difficult process. So we'd like to feel that we can help people with that. We're very approachable. We're very understanding. It's, because we do so much educating, it's kind of in our nature to help and try and provide the assistance and the advice that maybe people are looking for.
Do you find this community to be very supportive of the arts? Art obviously doesn't exist in a bubble, and artists need to make money to keep doing what they're doing. Have you found the audience here to be people that buy art? It's
hugely supportive. I'm just amazed, and I've only been at Sunbury Shores since January, and I'm astounded by how supportive people are. We have so many volunteers who just consistently come out to help with gallery work, with exhibition openings, and people attending the classes and buying art and
Now you're talking about being new to the gallery. Can you tell me when you started and what your position is at the gallery?
I'm the new director there. Started in January, so it's been a bit of a learning curve, but I think we're just about getting a hold of it at the moment. It's a fantastic team there, really. It's such a great product, and it's like anything new, it's a little frustrating sometimes when I haven't figured things out and I want to know more, but there's always somebody there who has the information, who can tell me what happened before, how things work, who I should talk to. We've got a great team, staff and all the volunteers, and the board actually, great board, very supportive, very strong, so yeah.
What have been some of the most surprising and eye-opening and positive things you've learned about the gallery from stepping in that you didn't know before?
I think the arts education part, I had no idea how busy we are, particularly with the schools. Summer as well, we do an outreach program. This year we've been from St. Stephen through Milltown, St. George, Blacks Harbour, right the way to Deer Island. And probably expanding next year as well. And that's working with the Boys and Girls Club of Charlotte County. We're working with St. Stephen Library. We're working with the schools, Deer Island and other schools, and that's summer education, arts education, usually involved with community in projects such as pollination with a focus on, again, nature, environment. So trying to educate kids around their own environment, how they live, where they live, and how they can learn to express themselves through that.
I know one of the projects you recently started working on is trails that belong. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
We're trying to get the Two Meadows Trail a little bit more loved again. It's beautiful trail and very unspoilt, and it's been a little neglected over the last few years perhaps, but we're working on some new signage at the moment. The fallen down shed is gone, and we have, again, a number of volunteers who very kindly kind of keep an eye on it and help keep the trails actually cleared and keep them accessible.
Where are they for people who don't know about them?
Well, you need to go down Joe's Point Road, and just before Pottery Creek there is a sign which we're in the process of having mended at the moment that says Two Meadows Trail. You can just park off street there, and there is a bit of an old sign map, but we're working on getting a new one, so you'll be able to follow it.
Now, at this day and age, we're looking at the environment in a different light, sometimes one that's really scary. Do you find the gallery playing a different role as people become more and more concerned about the future, especially in this area? We're watching the water temperatures rising. Is the education element of the nature aspect taking on a different role?
It should be, and it's something that we need to be working more on. We did have more science-based instructors involved, and they, for various reasons, have kind of dropped off a little over the last few years. So that's something I really need to get to grips with and start bringing a little bit more of that back into the programming. I think a lot of the artists are environmentally aware. I know we've had some art there just this year already. There was a piece talking about the right whales and how vulnerable they are, and quite a lot of the art is making a statement one way or another. So I think it's needs more.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of the artists like Chantel who are based at the gallery and teaching courses? Who are you involved with that does a lot of the education aspects?
We have a number of regular instructors. Chantel Vincent, yes, who's been one of our core members with the kids programming. She does a lot with the elementary school through the school year, and then a lot of our summer programming. We have Robert Van de Peer, who's been teaching in the print shop for a number of years now. He's just retiring at the moment, but we have Ruth Dunfield, who's probably picking that up, and she also teaches stained glass and some other print work. And we have Matt Watkins, who's been involved with this for many years. He's now teaching in Fredericton at the college, So it's really nice to have that connection. He teaches art history with the older kids, and this year we're going to be introducing a little more element around building a portfolio, and for those who are interested in going on to arts further education. So he's in a great place to be able to advise around that.
Can you tell me a little bit about I love going to your exhibition openings especially, but what's the behind the scenes like? How do you decide what exhibits will be put on and what artists you'll focus on, and even what angle you'll take to the exhibit?
It's a complicated process. We're trying to fill a lot of needs. So we need to be a community gallery to represent our very local artists. So we try and make sure that we have 1 or 2 or 3, several shows a year. So for instance, we've traditionally had Karma, the Cat Rescue Association. We've had Pride. This year we have the Charlotte County Mental Health Association, who are putting in some work. And then of course we have things like the Deck the Walls Around Christmas, which is an open exhibition to anyone. At the same time, we try and have some work from new and emerging artists. We had Katrina Slade this year. That was her first solo Canadian exhibition, so that was pretty exciting. And we also try and do some retrospectives. So we had Kathy Hooper, who's a well-known artist, so we had a 20-year review of her work. Some of the shows we have, Alexandria Eaton at the moment, fantastic installation, very strong, not for sale. It's traveling as an installation, so, but it's such a fantastic show. It's great to have up, people come in, everybody has something interesting, they relate to it, they want to talk about it, they're super interested in the concepts. And then we just need to have some shows that sell well, like Dash, which is a short little pop-up that a number of local artists get together and organize.
And for people who want to come out and show their support by either buying art or just taking part, where would you suggest they go now to look for information or to buy tickets?
We have a website, sunburyshores.org, so certainly go there, or just pop in if you're in town, or give us a call, because we have a great front desk team. We have tickets available just right at the desk, so we can do it that way. Some will be available on the door, but some of them are a little bit more limited in number. We do have a few event passes, which are just available until Friday, or until they run out. So that would cover you for all 4 events. There's more information on our website, sunburyshores.org. We are selling tickets through Eventbrite, or you can just come in or give us a call and we can do it over the phone. So I want to make it easy for people.
Well, we're looking forward to coming. Thanks for being my guest today.
Thank you. Thanks very much for having us.
Southwest Magazine is a news and public affairs production of CHCO-TV, New Brunswick's only source for independent community television.